Hi, this is Dr. Jones. So we are going to take a look again at another Google Sheets. This one is for Module 2, Assignment 1. And again, I'm not going to try to solve this. There's other instruction on how to do this. I'm just showing you the use of Google Sheets in case you were using that instead of Excel. Again, some students are having every so often will have limited access to Microsoft Excel. You can still use Google Sheets for uh, most of the assignments that you have for this course. And so Module 2 Assignment 1 is the Corner Diner Dilemma. Now that sets up a, uh, a spreadsheet where you're using Minimax, Maximax, etc. to do decision analysis. And let me bring over, if you use the download here for uh, this sheet, it will give you this PDF. Now, this PDF, you can't enter information. I mean, you could change it to a Word file, but that's not what we want you to do. So this format right here is just so that you can see what the cells are supposed to include. And so I set up with the information that you're supposed to already have, the numbers that you're supposed to have to do this problem. I have created this in Excel and then brought it over into a PDF file because I want you to create this shell in Excel, or in this case in to Google Sheets. So when you do it with Google Sheets, it's going to look something like this. Now, I want you to see, so I've got purple squares there, just like I did in my PDF. I even used purple borders here. Um, I only do that because this helps you to remember where the information is supposed to go that you're supposed to add. So this is where you are going to put your formulas. And again, remember, you've got to use formulas. You can't just write numbers in. This is where the numbers get written in here, and those would already be created for you. So all you have to do is basically transfer the information from this sheet, which means you're going to have to retype it, but transfer that into this type of sheet right here. Okay. Now, once you've done that, you can still do the same thing that we would do in Excel. And because there's information in my instruction videos, I'm not going to go through all of that. But what you'll see is that you can use in Google Sheets the same thing that you would have used in Excel, which is the sum product formula. And that is equals sum product. And notice it comes up with that right there for you. And it's here that you then highlight the cells that you're going to use for some product. And in this case, you're going to continue to use those weights up at the top to go with each of these lines there. And then you'll have similar types of formulas in others. Now, they will not all use sum product. Some of them will use max, some of them will use min. Some will just say, okay, the value for this comes from this cell, but you use the formulas that you're supposed to use. And again, go back to my instruction video on how to do this type of a problem to help you solve those. As we saw in the first video with the first module and first assignment, you can download this using the file download in Excel, or you can email the Excel file to yourself to be able to put this into Excel format, and therefore it'll be the proper format for you to use. Then you would just change the name of the file before you submit it for grading. So you can use the same thing. It comes up with the same formulas that you would have in Excel, and it's going to look essentially the same. And then don't forget, you're supposed to put down here what your advice is. That's the bottom part, which is you got to tell us what, if you were a consultant, what would you advise the corner diner to do and why. That's all, folks. Thanks.